Good evening, adventurers. It's about 8:30 on Tuesday night, which means we've got just a little bit less than 24 hours till we get to have another round of adventuring tomorrow. Here's what I thought we would do. Since we're going to have a couple of people out, I thought it would be a good idea to go ahead and talk about the campaign a little bit. And since tomorrow we're going to have sort of a character creation session for folks that are still looking to kind of bounce ideas off of each other, I wanted to give everybody the same amount of starting information so that you would know a little bit about what kind of a campaign we're going to be running, what I had planned, and then that might help you guys create your characters a little bit. And, anything is still editable. We can still change a lot of things. I just wanted to let you know a little bit about the world that we're going to be getting into. So first, like I said before, the campaign is going to be set on the continent of Pelor. And Pelor has about 6 major cities. And I'm setting this in kind of, if you want to think about it, kind of the time of like a Sparta and Troy, and maybe slightly more technologically advanced than that, but the whole idea of the city-state. And that's kind of what I'm using. There's going to be about a half dozen city-states that are of relative equal power. And then they have outlying villages and farms and everything. But there's just the one central metropolitan location that sort of rules the surrounding countryside. The idea of this campaign is that there's certainly still going to be combat. There's going to be dungeons, there's going to be bad guys and all of that. But the focus is going to be a lot less on the combat elements and a lot more on the role-playing elements than what we have done in the Lost Mines campaign. Josh did a great job in his campaign of balancing the role-playing and the combat, and I really want to try and do that as well in my campaign. For folks still deciding what race they want to play, there's going to be 3 human cities: Tardis, the port of Arium, and the city of Lakeland, the elvish city of Fordoras, and the dwarvish city of Gunnarak. There is also the orcish ruined city right now of Babadar. And then if you want to play any of the other races, very few of them have any kind of large-scale city to speak of. They certainly don't have a city-state level metropolitan area, but we will talk about where they are hailing from in the map. It's worth mentioning that my campaign is going to be set in the same world as Josh's. It is going to be in the same world as Aora, but different continent, different time. An earlier time, there's probably not going to be a lot of connection between my campaign and Josh's, just in terms of common characters or themes. But who knows? Who knows who or what might pop up? But I just wanted to set the stage in the same place so that there can be some continuity, there can be some opportunities, maybe not even necessarily in this campaign, but potentially future campaigns, that there are links in the storyline, that there's common threads, that we see recurring themes or places or people or something. And I think part of that is just laying down a little bit more foundation in the broader world in which Josh has set his campaign. So we're going to be starting out near or on the road to or something of the city-state of Tardis. And Tardis is sort of built in the Roman fashion. A lot of characters will have very Roman-sounding names, and it works off of a feudal system. There's a king, there are a prince and a princess. I realize Rome was not a feudal system, but we're combining some elements here. There's going to be and then a council that advises the king, and there's going to be a lot of political intrigue in this first section of the campaign. What makes Tardis special is that it has been expanding a great deal in recent times, partially fueled by its recent scientific discoveries of ancient ruins that nobody knows where they came from or who they belong to. And in these ruins are often magical relics and things of varying power and effect. And Tardis has begun sort of accumulating these, and with the help of these relics has expanded its territory and its influence into the surrounding countryside, and at times into the lands of its neighbors. So there's going to be a lot of changing relationships. And so as you're creating your characters, I want you to be focusing not so much on how to min-max the next death dealer. That person will have a use, that person will have a time to shine. But I think that if you go into a particularly combat-centric class, you may find that you're not getting to use as many of your really cool things maybe quite as often or as great of effect as you might want. I would really like to see people focusing on their backstories, their side elements. I would really like, as people are creating characters in the player's handbook, there is a table for rolling a trinket. I would very much like everybody to have a trinket. I'm not sure what page number it is, but as I'm editing this, I will put the page number right below me right here. And I would like you to also explain to me what your trinket is, why you have it, and if it has any kind of significance to you. It is okay if it does not. That's a perfectly fine thing to have happen, and we can make some really interesting stories about what your trinket means. But it's a nice tool that I think gets underused a lot as people create their characters. It's really there as an aid to developing backstory. It gives you another focal point of your storyline. On the subreddit, the information is there, but I'll go ahead and talk to you a little bit about Harsh's character, because he and I have actually had the chance to sit and chat about that. He's going to be playing a warlock of the Great Old One, and he has done a really nice job of creating a character who, as we were talking about just a second ago, is really not necessarily combat focused. He has a lot of charms and crowd control abilities, the ability to disguise himself and mimic voices. And so even without being a rogue, I think Harsh's character is going to be very mysterious and able to influence a lot of people just through pure deception. And I'm really excited about that kind of thing. I already love some of the character ideas I'm hearing. I think Josh is thinking about playing a wizard, and Lexi some kind of hag warlock, and maybe Steven doing a ranger with a giant flying squirrel. I mean, there's so many great things that are going to happen. I'm super excited. I'll look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow. We'll do some hashing out of some characters, talk about ideas, bounce some things off of each other, and get ready for session 0 coming up here in just a few weeks. Take care, guys. See you tomorrow.